What was your reaction when you finally landed that job offer after those 5 rounds?
I was pretty ecstatic. I very, very excited and a little bit in shock, but also had like this good feeling after the three in person. I thought I've got a pretty good shot, but I just don't know. And then I was initially told that it was probably going to be a no. Like they were not sure what they were going to do, but they might not even be hiring an MBA student at all.
Wow.
Um, and so then when they called back and said we want to do this last fifth interview, that interview just went really well, and it just clicked, and we connected. And I thought, I think I'm going to get the offer, and sure enough, I got the offer. So it was amazing, very exciting.
So what was the transformation or outcome that you experienced after working with her?
A couple things, but one of the biggest things is she, like I said, she does a good job of asking hard questions and kind of pushing back on maybe the traditional way of thinking. For example, a question that most companies love to ask is, why do you want to work for our company? Why Microsoft or why Dell or whatever? And I started to give her my answer, and she's like, that answer is way too common. That's what everyone's going to say. Like,
Hmm.
what is special and specific to you? Why am I, as the interviewer, going to believe that you really want to work here and you really have a direct and personal real connection to us? And so it made me take a step back and try to work on that and practice and think and write, like, how am I going to position this to get that across? And I think that carried over into some of the other questions and scenarios that I was thinking about. Um, when they ask at the end of the interview, what questions do you have for us? Not just not just giving them the same questions that everyone Googles online,
Right.
but thinking a little more about, like, how can I personalize this? How can this be memorable or relevant, or specific to me? And same thing with other interview questions and answers too.
What would have happened if you hadn't have chosen to work with her?
Yeah, if I hadn't reached out for help, there's a good chance that I would have just continued doing what I've always done and what I had been doing that wasn't working. And I probably would have gone to my initial interview, thought it went well, left, and wouldn't have heard back, because that was kind of the what was starting to happen. And so um, it was time to make a change.
What is her style like when you're working with her?
Yeah, I mean, one thing, when you mention her name, even outside of her, business and what she's trying to do to help people in their careers and everything, like, she is a person of conviction, a person of values, and believes strongly in her values and will advocate for that. And I think she brings that to her work and her coaching and training and consulting on this job search.
Why would you recommend Get on the Raft to others?
Yeah. I would recommend it because the job search is a lot harder than people realize. Very competitive nowadays. Companies get hundreds or even thousands of applications for jobs. It's too easy to apply online. Um, and so they have to screen you out somehow. And so if you actually make it to the interview, which is huge, hurdle to get past, you have to show up the best you possibly can and the most prepared you possibly can. And I think that's where Get on the Raft can make the difference. So using a service like that to stand out and beat out those intense competition is what you got to do.